Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, man. I'm super excited. It's one of my favorite videos to do every month. It's the top 3 baits, and it's a great month right here. And I've got some baits that I'm gonna give away that you can't quite get your hands on yet. So you guys stay tuned. It's gonna be a great top 3 baits for the month of June. All right, so I love doing these videos, man. It's just a lot of fun, and the reason we do these, something that you know, the reason behind it is just to get your brain wrapped around it. Like every time I come out here and I get my nitro, I'm like, man, I need to tie stuff on. You know, what do I need to have tied on? I hadn't been to the lake in a few weeks. That's why we do these videos. Just, you know, I could do top 5 baits, top 10 baits. We could do lots of baits to tie on, but we try to simplify it, and we try to give them all away. We don't try, we do. And they all get given away in a Plano Edge box, which is really, really cool. These are the flex boxes that you can adjust and make to fit. Really awesome boxes. So, what do you have to do to win these? It's simple, guys. Leave me a comment, be a subscriber, and I go down through there and I randomly pick 3 and we mail them out. So, with all that said, let's get started. My baits this year, like I've been doing this now, this is like, we're like into year 2. So you can go back and check last June's baits. And they're a little bit different than this June's because I want to try to give you guys something different to think about. So keep that in mind. Go check out that video from last year's. So the number 1 bait, oh wait, time out. At the end of this video, I'm going to tell you guys the winners. You guys got to stay tuned because I got the winners right here on my phone. You guys got to stay tuned to see who won, and we'll mail these things out to you. All right, now enough of all that. We've taken care of the house cleaning. Let's get to the baits. The number 1 bait for me in the month of June, when I am out fishing on public bodies of water, big bodies of water, and I'm out there either in the kayak or I'm in the nitro, is a crankbait. A deep diving crankbait. These fish have pulled off. I'm talking about southern reservoirs, you know, midland reservoirs, you know, any place where it's not necessarily a natural lake, you know, it's a man-made reservoir. That's what I'm trying to say. Man-made reservoir outside of Florida and outside of like far south Louisiana, you know, any place you've got depth. And it's a crankbait, like a dredger. And the reason why this is my number 1 bait is because I can cover water and cover water quickly. I can get a reaction bite. Fish are feeding up. I want to cover water because once you find them in June, they are going to be schooled up. They're going to be ready to go. I've got a Project E video coming down the pipeline that explains all this in detail. You guys have to be on the lookout for. But just a crankbait. I've got 3 different sizes here. I've got a 20.5, my all-time most favorite color, chartreuse and blue. You got to think there's not a lot of light down there in the water. I feel like chartreuse blueback just gets bites all across the country, whether I've caught them in Minnesota on this thing, up there, you know, like on, I think it's called Minnetonka. I've caught them in New York over there on some of those lakes. I've caught them in Maine, obviously here in Oklahoma, Missouri, Tennessee River. I mean, this is just like the best color you could ever imagine. So a 20.5. I'm going to give away. I got a 17.5, and I've got now that's in the Lone Ranger color. That's a really cool color. I like it because it's got a little more silver back. The tail is silver. It kind of makes it look like it's injured. You know, like if you ever seen a shiner or a shad that's been hit, you know, their tail's super white a lot of times. So I really like that added feature to it. And then I got a 14.5, just one of my favorite colors, honey shad. Won a lot of money on that. Same thing. It's got that little white on its back. Kind of, to me, imitates a injured shad. So why the different sizes? I'm going to throw that 14.5 anywhere like I'm fishing from 8 to 12 feet of water. I'm going to throw the 17.5 anywhere from like that 12 to 14 foot water. The 25, anything over 14 foot. So, you know, I know it says 17.5. Yes, you can get it on 17.5, but I want to get it down there. I want to keep it in that depth. I'm throwing these on 12-pound test. A lot of times they rate crankbaits on 10. Keep that in mind. So always get one 3-4 foot deeper than you actually want to fish. That's just super, super important. I'm throwing this on a 7.6 medium heavy rod, a 6.8 to 1 gear ratio reel, and covering water quickly. Those are 3 colors, guys. I like those 3 colors. You could obviously also throw in there like a chartreuse shad or a any other type of shad colors, but like for me, it's top 3 baits. I can only give you 3. I like the chartreuse blue the best. It's just a really good color. Make sure you get your bait tuned. That's a mistake I see so many people make. Right when you take it out of the package, you tie it on, just toss it out there 4 or 5 feet and just reel it as fast as you can with the rod up high. Make sure that thing's coming straight to you. I mean, it's just super important, because if it's going off like this or going off like this, you're not going to achieve the maximum depth. It's not going to deflect when it hits the bottom. But that's bait number 1. Remember, we're giving these away. Just leave me a comment, guys. Super simple. Be a subscriber too, please. Bait number 2. Now, I've got some smallmouth stuff in here. It's coming down the pipeline. I'm not forgetting about you guys up north. It's a great time of the year to be up north. And this next bait kind of is both. You know, when I think of June, I think of fish offshore. I'm going to find them with that crankbait. Then I'm going to slow down and I'm going to throw a jig or a stand-up worm. You know, it's a bait we talked about in last June's video. But now this new bait right here, an Agent E. This thing is a jig. This thing weighs 3/4 of an ounce. I'm going to throw this thing on 12 or 14 pound test, and I'm going to work it just like a jig. When you go to fish this bait, don't look at it as a swim bait, guys. Fish it like a jig. Let it go all the way to the bottom. It's got a phenomenal action going to the bottom. That tail kicks the whole way. And then just pick and drop. Pick and drop, or drag. Either way, it's just it's a hybrid football jig. I don't want this thing getting boxed into a swim bait, because it's not designed that way. It's got a real heavy belly. It's got a great action going down to the bottom, and it's meant to be dragged and fished on the bottom. Just a phenomenal bait, guys. The fish hadn't really seen this bait very much, and I catch a lot of fish on this time of year when fish get out offshore. It comes in 4 different sizes. I'm giving away the 3/4 ounce. There's a 3/8 ounce, a half, and a 1 ounce. They all have their applications depending on how deep you want to fish. I like the 3/4 smaller ounce size just to get bites and to fish anywhere in that water from 12 to 20 feet deep. That 1 ounce size also works great in that depth. It's just a bigger profile. I use the 1/2 ounce size, like if I'm trying to get it a little bit slower fall. I like the 1/2 ounce size a lot when I'm fishing outside grass edges. I like that 1/2 ounce size in that 8 to 12 feet of water. You know, if I want to fish that 1/2 ounce size and get that slower fall in deeper water, I'm going to drop it down to 12 pound test. I'm throwing that 3/4 and that 1 ounce on 14 and 17 pound test. When I go to that half, I throw it on 12. When I go all the way down to that 3/8 ounce size, to me, that's when I'm fishing clear water like Beaver, Table Rock, or the Great Lakes, and I'm throwing that on a spinning rod. You know, it's going to be 8 pound test or 10 pound test at the most. All right, as far as colors, guys, this is a great color right here, just HD Gizzard Shad, one of my favorites. It's got the blue, the yellow, really represents a shad really well. It's a toss-up between this one. This is the HD Bluegill. It's got a little bit of chartreuse on the tail, just a great bluegill pattern. I love this bait. And then for you guys up north, you got to have yellow perch, especially with those smallmouth fishing. It's got the yellow perch lines. It's got the orange pectoral fins. Just a great bait for up north, outside those grass edges when those fish are really feeding on yellow perch. You cannot go wrong with that bait right there. All right, we got 2 of the 3 down. Reminder, leave me a comment, guys. I may pick you. You may be the winner for this next month to win these baits. These things right here are hard to get. This bait is super hard to get. And this is for my guys up north. And one of the best baits for those fish up north, you know, this time of the year is throwing a tube. It's just a very effective bait. It represents, you know, a lot of different things up north. Throwing a tube. And for what I got for you guys right here is a Maxent tube. So with these tubes, these are really hard to get because it's got that Maxent flavor in it. You know, smallmouth go berserk, largemouth go berserk over that Maxent. It's a really new product. I don't know if they're even on the shelves yet. I'm sure they are somewhere. I picked this color right here, Watermelon Vapor, because it's just a watermelon color with a little bit of purple and black accent to it. It's just a great bait, guys. Cast it out there, hop it, pop it, drag it. You can't go wrong. It's just a #1 bait you're gonna throw if you're up north fishing for those smallmouth. If you're even largemouth up north, just really gravitate towards a tube. And the new Max Scent 3.5 inch is going to be a great one. I'm going to send with you guys just some 1/4 ounce shaky heads that'll fit perfectly up in that tube. It's got a 3/0 hook. It's a good diameter. You'll notice the line tie is recessed. You'll just push that up right through the head, then it'll kind of suck back in there. It'll really protect that knot. I like it a lot. But a 1/4 ounce, and this is going to be the size that I'm going to fish if it's shallow, say 4 to 6, 7 feet of water. If you get out deeper than that or you got a lot of current, go up to that 3/8 or even that 1/2 or 3/4 ounce to a bigger head. But you know, I just use these shaky heads. They also make a tube head. I happen to be out of them. These work fine if you're in a pinch. And I was in a pinch because I wanted to send some of these guys to you. So these will work great. And it'll also work great as a shaky head, which is another great bait to throw in June, along with the other 11 months in the year. But we're gonna send these with you. So leave me a comment, guys. Somebody is gonna win these. Let's get, oh, and they're all gonna be in this box right here. You guys are gonna be able to get this cool box. What's really neat about the Edge box, just to explain to you, these are all different size dividers. So you can go this way, this way, this way. You can make whatever size compartment you want to make. Really, really cool box. This comes in a 3600 size, a 3700 size. They're just really, really neat, customizable boxes. We're going to send these out with those baits too, so that's kind of cool. All right, the winners from last month. Man, I had some great comments. Super thankful for these. You guys, the winners. If I had a drum roll, I'd be drumming it. We got Alan Pryor. He said, man, I love these videos. You keep me and my daughter catching more bass every year. And that meant a lot to me, including your daughter, taking her out fishing. We got a late thaw this year in northern Minnesota. Going to actually fish water in the high 40s and low 50s. Wow, that's cold. I can't wait for the bass opener. I can't wait for you too, Alan. I got these baits going right here. I want to make sure this yellow perch is coming your way because you're in Minnesota, and I think you'd appreciate that. All right, my winner number 2 is Will Perryman. I can see you've been a subscriber, man. You've left a ton of great comments. I appreciate it, Will. You said, I'm glad for your May tips, and I caught over a dozen in my club tournament on May 1st on Lake Gaston in North Carolina on a walk in a popper. Congratulations, man. That's awesome. I'm glad you caught a bunch of fish. Thanks for leaving that comment. It was that simple. I'm going to mail you a package of these baits right here too, Will, just for leaving that comment, and I appreciate it a bunch. All right, last but not least, I got Ernie Derboven, D-E-R-B-O-V-E-N. Love seeing these videos every month, and me and my son have been fishing ponds around Tulsa, and your videos have taught me a lot, and my son how to use baits, and also been sight fishing and actually caught a lot more fish because of the information. So I appreciate that comment. That just means a lot to me that you're taking your son fishing. I like doing that myself. Buddy, Ernie, I have got some baits coming your way too. So there it is, man. Just go to my website. That's how I'm going to send these to you. Leave me your address through an email on my website, and I'll get them out to you. I hope you enjoy them. Thank you for leaving that comment. And man, I hope everybody is having a great summer so far. Get out there, take a kid fishing. And man, I appreciate you guys following along. Leave me a comment, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button for me. And we will see you next week, guys.